Today I sat with this one verse, just 7 words. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. And yet it began to open doors in me I didn't know were locked. I've heard this verse before, many times, but today something shifted. I didn't just read the words, they read me. And I realized something I hadn't seen clearly before. The first cry of a soul that has received the righteousness of God is not pride, not status, not behavior, it is mercy. Mercy is not just a response, it's a reflection, a mirror. Once you've been shown the mercy of God, once His righteousness has entered your emptiness, not as a theology, but as a living warmth, you cannot help but bend toward others. Something begins to melt, not because you're trying to be a good Christian, but because you're becoming like Him. I thought mercy was optional, a virtue I could choose to practice, but now I see mercy is proof. It's the visible echo of an invisible touch. You can't fake it, you can't force it. It either flows from your being or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, then I have to ask, have I really received it? Have I really seen Him? Jesus didn't say, blessed are the nice. He said, blessed are the merciful. Because mercy isn't politeness. Mercy is power. The power to see someone's pain and not demand repayment. The power to look into the eyes of someone who hurt you and still say, you are more than what you've done. But I confess, this hasn't come easily for me. For a long time, I tried to forgive people by letting go of my pain. I thought if I could just stop feeling hurt, I would be free. But what I was really doing was self-recovery. Not mercy, not forgiveness, just detachment. It was still all about me. But real mercy isn't about me getting better. It's about someone else receiving love, even when they don't deserve it. And that's what undoes me, because that's what God did with me. I started to realize mercy begins where understanding begins. Not in the mind, but in the heart. When I start to see people not as enemies, not even as wrong, but as broken, like me. Just like me, wanting to be loved, doing damage because of pain they don't know how to handle, carrying wounds they never asked for. I began to soften, not because I became better, but because I saw clearer. Mercy is what happens when love refuses to draw a line. Mercy is what happens when grace puts on flesh. Mercy is what God gave me when I least deserved it. And now I hear Jesus whisper, give it to them, just like I gave it to you. But how can I, Lord? And the answer comes quietly. You become what you behold. If I keep staring at how much I've been hurt, I will become bitterness. But if I keep gazing at the one who forgave me, I will become mercy. Not by trying harder, but by letting Him fill me deeper. And that's when it clicked. Blessed are the merciful. It's not just a command, it's a mirror of becoming. Jesus isn't telling me to act merciful just to receive mercy. He's telling me that when I am merciful, it reveals that I've already received mercy. The giving and the receiving are not separate acts. They are one flow, one river. The same stream that flows from God into me now flows through me into others. And the more it flows, the more it fills. That's what it means to obtain mercy. It doesn't mean I earn it. It means I enter it, I dwell in it, I live from it. And suddenly I understand now why Jesus wept over Jerusalem, why He forgave from the cross, why He sat with sinners and washed the feet of betrayal. It was never about proving how good He was. It was about showing us who the Father is. And now as I reflect, I see that the more I've tasted God's mercy, the more I ache to become it. I don't want to just be right, I want to be mercy. I don't want to just understand theology. I want to feel the tears of God in my chest when I see a hurting soul. I want to bleed compassion without effort. I want to respond like Jesus, because I've been with Jesus, not because someone told me to, but because I've seen Him. And now I understand what the Holy Spirit has been doing in me all this time, not just healing me, but forming mercy in me. This is not weakness. This is strength that doesn't need to win. And I realize now, to be merciful is to become more fully alive, to live from the center of God's heartbeat, to see through His eyes, to forgive as He forgave, to love even when it costs everything. Because mercy never asks, what do they deserve? Mercy whispers, what did I receive? And in that place, I find myself again, loved, forgiven, held. And slowly, without forcing it, I become the very thing I received. Not just one who gives mercy, but one who is mercy. And in that, I am blessed.